Welcome to the Dark Zone Adventure Racing Podcast. This is your host, Brian Gatens. While Team Dark Zone Podcast Naira is out on the Endless Mountains Adventure Race course, we have given the keys to the podcast over to Rootstock Racing. So sit back and relax and enjoy their podcast coming from their race right here on the Dark Zone platform.
Hello. Hello. Smiling. You got one smile up too.
We were not expecting to lead early on, so we didn't really care. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Looks like the race starts now.
Yeah, the race starts now.
It's day 2 at the Endless Mountains Adventure Race, and 4-hour Fuel and Vert enter the second transition area in a dead heat. Their next challenge is a Herculean one, a day-long foot section through Vermont's White Rocks Recreation Center. We anticipate that it will take teams upwards of 24 hours or more to reach the other side, and the only way out is through.
Hello, adventurers! This is Andrea reporting from TA2 here with race director Brent.
You may remember Andrea Bekdak from the last episode. Andrea is on site at Endless as a race referee in training. Along the way, she's picked up an on-the-ground media gig, doing live reporting on both the Rootstock channels and for the Adventure Racing World Series, alongside Wayne Leake.
We are here at White Rocks, where everything and anything is happening. We have bike boxes because racers are coming with their bikes, loading them up, putting them in the truck, and then going on a monster trek here.
Yeah, so I think every year we try to include a really significant, genuinely long trek.
Because
really
how long
test
is this?
Everybody. Full course, we're estimating is about 35 miles, but things go wrong. 35 miles quickly turns into 38, 40 miles. I mean, these things can be really big. For the lead teams, they've just started around, 2 o'clock?
It is about 3 o'clock, and they started two teams leave in about half an hour ago or so.
Yeah, so they're starting at 2:30 in the afternoon, right? They haven't slept. They're going to go through this afternoon. They're going to hit night 2. Which is almost a guarantee. They're going to have to find a place to sleep, right? They have to bring their tents with them. They're going to go through the night. They're going to get up. They're going to get sunrise. They're going to go through the morning. They're going to go into the afternoon. If things go well, they'll finish probably around midday. And if they don't, they could go back into the evening again.
As you heard in episode 3, one of the things that distinguishes Endless Mountains from other expedition races is the unrelenting navigational challenge of the event. And that's particularly true on these monster trek stages, where teams have to use everything in their arsenal to keep themselves found.
Navigation, it's a team discipline. I don't consider that it's my job or responsibility at all.
This is Kit Vreeland and Mike Garrison of Vert, currently in second place.
We're constantly communicating with all different team members to get input, whether it's what do you see in the topography, or we're looking for this backstop, or asking somebody to pace count or to start a stopwatch. And, does this make sense in terms of our timing? I love that kind of working together and just taking all the information in.
This may have been one of the best team navigation dynamics I've raced with, from the perspective of the ratio of navigation ability to ego. A lot of times when people are on the maps, they feel like, this is me, I gotta do this, everybody's relying on me, and if you're not careful, that can slip into a little bit of I'm the only one that can do this.
We did have a little conversation about how to address the navigator, which we've all been addressed by other people when we're the ones with the maps in our hands. Just reiterated with each of us that the statements that might be considered passive aggressive, like, are you sure we're going in the right direction, are not helpful, versus, did you make sure to declinate? Or, how can I be helpful? What are we looking for next? What's our distance?
Vert is drawing on this collaborative navigational approach in their quest to unseat the 3-time defending champions, 4-hour Fuel. But across the field, from the pointy end to the back of the pack, all of the teams are using these same sets of skills as they make their way through the course.
Good evening, everybody. Here we are nearing 8 p.m. at TA2. It's beautiful out here, gorgeous. TA2 with a setup for volunteers. They are amazing, hard at work.
Patty, what are you doing?
I'm counting and scoring the passports from the first section. So passport 1.
An adventure racing passport is essentially a scorecard. Teams carry a small printed page across the course, marking it with a unique pinprick code at each checkpoint to validate their visit. It's an arcane and simplistic mode of scorekeeping, but it seems to fit our low-tech map and compass sport.
So we have a master that we use, and I compare the dots that are punched, and then we have a double check. Another person checks it to make sure that they agree.
We're going to be here overnight. Teams have been trickling in throughout the whole day. It's been very exciting to see their decision making, food choices, gear choices, camping, sleeping here, sleeping up on the mountain, all of these things that the teams have had to decide. Teams are still transitioning here. U-Hauls are getting loaded. We still have about a dozen teams that will keep on trickling in. So we have some work to do here, but it's very exciting. We're just excited to see what's going to happen on the other side of the mountain tomorrow at TA3.
In their 24 hours in the woods, teams will confront unrelenting terrain, navigational challenge, strategic decision-making, all on precious little sleep. Along the way, many will be forced to confront themselves as well.
These races, they break you down. They strip you bare. They really require you to confront yourself, right? And your fears and your emotions. And you're also on full display. Right? You're on display with your teammates as you travel through these different stages of kind of emotional life and wrestle with these kind of existential questions. And I think that can be one of the biggest challenges and hardships of this event, but it can also really be one of the most amazing things about the journey. I think that realization of what you can accomplish and what you wrestle with yourself is really what makes this so special.
One lesson we really learned last year during Endless was the value of sleep. A couple of our lowest moments was when we were just completely sideways with sleep exhaustion. And that's also the moments when maybe we got most tense as a team, knowing that you can finish. When you're in those kind of tough moments and those dark moments, that this too shall pass. You just kind of keep stumbling forward and eventually the finish line's in front of you.
4 Hour Fuel is the first team to emerge from the woods off the Stage 3 track.
Good morning, everybody. We are here at TA3. Officially, our first team is here. We are here with 4 Hour Fuel. They finished the giant trek and they are building their bikes, getting ready for this next section right here. So Lars, how was that trek?
Really, really fun. Challenging navigation from start to finish. And there was a lot of different navigation tools you needed. So Dusty was doing the navigation from start to finish, but me and Alex and Karin helped him all the time. We all have a compass, so everybody can take a compass bearing, everybody can measure distance. We're helping each other all the time, asking extra questions, making sure that the navigator is fresh and engaged. It's sometimes good to ask, okay, what's your plan? Have you thought about this? Because it was, again, a stage where you really needed all the navigation tools in your toolbox.
What about sleeping?
I did it 3 years ago, where we decided only to sleep in the canoe while moving, and that really didn't work. So this time we decided, okay, let's sleep 1.5 hours each night. So we did that. So 2 hours from putting up the tent to we left again.
All of this up in the mountain.
Yeah.
That's amazing. As strategy going forward?
Take one stage at a time, and then next night probably sleep 1.5 hours again.
Okay.
A few hours later, Vert arrives, holding their second place position but losing substantial ground to the 3-time champions.
Here we are still at TA3 at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We just have Team Vert just pop in right now. They are coming in second and it's super exciting. We're going to see them packing up and getting their bikes together and everything. Ask them a couple of questions real quick. Hey guys, how's it going?
Great.
So you have a couple of Vermont natives here on your team. How special was this Vermont trek right now for you guys?
Yeah, it was super fun. We were really excited to get out of New York, get back to our home state. We saw some familiar spots here on the long trail and some great classic Vermont trekking.
I think the biggest benefit to returning Rootstock Racing veterans, whether they've actually done Endless Mountains or not, they kind of have a sense of what's coming mentally. These races can be a bit of a shock to the system, to even the best racers and best teams when they haven't experienced it. You've got to be really dialed in and really focused, and your whole team has to kind of be involved in that. So teams that have done that before, I think, have a pretty good sense of what that's going to require. Whereas I think teams that haven't can be pretty surprised by it, but then also struggle a little bit when they're looking for that mental break that often is available to teams in other races, and they can't get it here.
We're at Endless Mountains, somewhere in the Vermont hills, and we found, what's the team?
Team City.
I think there's some Irish.
There is. We've Kevin, Elish, Johan, French-Irish, and Matthias from Poland.
How's it going, guys?
Not too bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Big trek?
Just in after the big trek, yeah. Yeah, tough, very different islands, just different terrain. The forest is just covered everywhere, so difficult to pick out all the contour lines and your features and everything. But we got to grips with it after a while. Challenging, but enjoyable.
How's everybody feeling?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Feel pretty good. Feet are good, and we're eating now, so we'll be getting off on the bike now soon.
This is Gym City's first Rootstock event and their first time competing in the United States. And they're putting on a master class in terms of strategy, adaptation, resilience, and teamwork. The technical rigor of Endless Mountains can both amplify a team's strengths and lay bare their weaknesses as the race wears on.
I think the navigational and strategic intensity of our races also really does put some added pressure on what's already a critical but difficult factor in the sport of adventure racing, which is teamwork. So teams that can really work together to not just navigate, but help each other stay engaged, overcome the inevitable navigational challenges that will happen even to the best teams. I think those teams do have a leg up. Teams that maybe they're not as experienced, maybe they haven't raced together as much, maybe their team chemistry is not well developed, whatever it might be. I think that the added mental strain of our races definitely can accentuate those kind of cracks and the rifts in the team dynamics and make things much, much, much harder. Doesn't mean that a new team that hasn't raced with each other can't figure that out, but I think it kind of creates, an even more challenging gauntlet in a sport that really tests what teams are made of.
There are teams that rise to this occasion, their teamwork and collaborative spirit on full display.
I got really sick on the trek at the end of the paddle, and those guys took such great care of me. They took my weight, they kept checking on me, and when I was ready to take it from them, they said, "No, you feel good, let's keep it that way."
Communication is always key, and I think as we've done races together, we've improved our team communication and knowing where everyone's at without even communicating sometimes, without even having this, how we work, and also being able to easily check in on each other and know that you're going to have highs and lows and everyone's going to feel great at some time and just not great at another. And we're going to keep going and be out there as long as we can.
As night 2 passes, the race begins to take its toll on the field. By the morning of day 3, the Bull Adventure Racing team has withdrawn from the race, and Fragile Flowers, Chaos Required, and Over the Mountain have gone non-competitive, meaning that one member of the team has retired early, and the remaining members have continued through the course unranked.
It was the first small trek after the 30-mile paddle.
This is Bruce Quo from Over the Mountain. Bruce is 65 years old and has been racing for more than 2 decades. In all of that time, he has never withdrawn from a race.
We land on the shoreline and there's no trail, so you have to bushwhack up and your legs just are not functioning. And Len, Jen, and Val were like yards ahead of me, so I'm trying to catch up. I step over this log onto a wet mossy, slippery stone. And I fall, twist, and I knew something happened right away.
Bruce and his teammates continued on, trekking 6 hours through the night, and then paddling to TA and biking an additional 80 miles through day 2 before arriving at the start of stage 3.
I was lying awake. I had my bags packed, bike was packed, everything was ready to go. And that 3 o'clock alarm rolled around, and I said, hey, can we just all have a little talk here?
It was pretty devastating.
This is Bruce's teammate, Val Harden, who you may remember from the last episode, when she told us that she retires on day 2 of every 5-day race she's done. Val is also 65. Her first endurance event was the JFK 50-mile Ultra, which she completed in cutoff jeans and Converse All-Stars when she was 9 years old. She and Bruce are racing with Len Policelli and Jen Manley, both newer to the sport, but with no less grit and grace.
It's hard when you get up at 3 after 3 hours and you're a little groggy, and the news is just terrible. You don't want to lose a teammate, and Bruce and I have raced a lot together, and it's an emotional moment. And for me personally, it was just really hard, but I knew he was doing the right thing, and he wouldn't have stopped racing unless it was pretty serious. But you just hate to see him go. It was hard. It was a hard moment.
You'll hear more from Over the Mountain later in this episode. These are the guys I want to be when I grow up. From TA3, teams depart on bike. The roughly 50-mile ride first takes them through the Friedley Quarry, an abandoned underground marble cavern carved into the base of Mount Aeolus, where racers will use a bouldering map to navigate in, around, and through the quarry's dark depths. The navigation can be maddening to tired brains. I caught up with Vert here as they were trying to transpose what they were seeing on the map to what they were encountering inside the quarry.
Yeah, and I think because they don't want you climbing from the left, it's a shelf on the other side of the water here.
Yeah.
It looks like you can get up over there, but maybe you can't. Maybe you have to walk around here.
Down here.
There's looks like you can get around.
After Friedley and a thrilling descent through Dorset Hollow, the teams make their way to the more famous Dorset Marble Quarry, a site beloved by locals that has become a destination to outdoor enthusiasts since USA Today named it among the nation's best swimming holes. The oldest commercial quarry in the country, Dorset stood as a thriving economic engine through the 19th century. Today, the grand slab marble walls have been reclaimed for recreation, and the expansive site offers opportunity for sunbathing, swimming, and cliff jumping. Racers pause here for a series of swims and jumps, the highest reaching 25 feet above the water. 4-hour fuel is first to arrive, and they encounter the quarry in all its summer splendor. Recreational swimmers and jumpers fill the rocky ledges and beaches. Families frolic on the grass. Kids in diapers toddle toward the water's edge at the shallowest shelf. Teens in bikinis and trunks psych themselves up for the jumps. Alex, Corinne, Lars, and Dusty don wetsuits and brace themselves for impact. I'm here with one of our volunteers, Nick Herf, who's on site for water safety. We end up playing adventure racing ambassador along the way to a crowd of onlookers.
How long have they been racing?
52 hours right now.
Wow.
Slept about an hour and a half.
Wait, the whole time? No way.
Yeah.
So then they have to...
It's 120 hours.
Wait, so then they go home after and like sleep for like 4 days? Wait,
hang out, yeah.
how long do they sleep along all 5 days? 4?
What
do they eat?
So,
like when they're doing something?
Is this their first race?
No. We're here
You've done that?
So it's a
not this
triathlon,
jump,
right?
but
This question has plagued adventure racers from the beginning of time. How to explain and distinguish our sport from triathlon, obstacle course racing, the amazing race, all in a digestible elevator pitch when you're standing on top of a 25-foot cliff getting ready to jump into 58-degree water. But I digress.
Okay. Ok, là on traverse. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. No, I think just I think it's.
Il y a juste cette affaire-là ici que je veux.
No, they have to go.
Okay. Whoa!
Thank you. It was surprisingly intense, but I loved it. Usually it's not my thing. Often I delegate my teammate to do that. But now I had no choice. But I really enjoyed it.
You had a cheering section.
Yeah, we had a full fan club there. It was a lot of fun.
That was a huge obstacle. It's just out there in the beginning of the race. You're thinking, we have this cliff jumping and swimming in cold water. How bad is that going to be? Are we going to be able to jump off that top cliff? Is it going to be the daytime, the nighttime? Is it going to be raining? All these things that are unknown as you're leading up to it. It's in the back of your mind, but we got through it.
Some of these events that are embedded in these endless mountain races, they do really challenge you. And I, for one, have an extreme fear of heights. So it was huge for us to move through it. We got to the last jump, and I think I was going first, and I made Jen go first because I'm like, I can't do it. And Jen, being the brave soul, jumped off. But then Lynn held my hand until the very last second, and that really did comfort me. So that was just a crazy, extreme thing that I probably would never do in my normal life. But when you do something like that, after you do it, we all felt so good just having a little bath. And then we rode to the general store and had something to eat and a big giant cup of coffee. That was just the best.
It's day 3 of the race. Teams have been out in the woods for 2 full nights, and for most, the lack of sleep is starting to take effect. By day 3, our executive function dwindles to nil. Think Doug the dog from the movie Up.
Well, my master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Day 3 can be a constant laugh track.
You know when you're a child, like our daughter does this, she gets the giggles, laughs, a deep belly laugh. And at some point when you're an adult, you stop doing that, except when you're sleep deprived on an adventure race. And I laugh so hard. The only time in my life where tears come down my face because I'm laughing at the most ridiculous things. And I can remember sitting with Chris on a sidewalk outside a gas station, laughing so hard about who knows what it was. The uncontrollable giggles, it's amazing.
By day 3, song lyrics that we once knew verbatim are reduced to choruses, and then mere words. I once spent an entire day 3 rapping the first stanza of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. My teammates loved me. Here's Chris Von Inns from Team Checkpoint Zero on arrival at the Dorset Marble Quarry. His teammates are changing into their wetsuits and readying for the jumps. But Chris?
Almost heaven, West Vermont. Oh, yes, that's not very good. Hold on. All right, hold on. Dang it. I had this better. Oh, the Green Mountains, Hoosac River. Why are we always going over there? Only 5 days, 174 checkpoints. Are you kidding? This is bullshit. Ain't nobody gonna clear this course. I know we ain't. Don't be a pecker. I'd like to get home so I can have a beer.
Day 3 can also bring with it the arrival of fatigue-induced hallucinations, sights and sounds that are conjured entirely by our sleep-addled imagination. In adventure racing, we call these sleep monsters. I once spent a night certain that I saw people embracing in the woods over Wendigo Pass in Oregon. After his first expedition race, Brent saw a kitten leaping out of his crock of French onion soup. And a friend recently shared with me the story of someone from another team running into her on his bike without acknowledgement. The two of them picked themselves up and made their way down the trail, and when they got to the bottom, he said to his waiting teammates, "Sorry guys, I just ran into a tree."
When the
hallucinations happen, it's almost like you know they're happening, but you kind of just enjoy the ride until it gets a little too overwhelming, and then you have to snap yourself back into it. At least we can maybe lean on each other for that, because I'm almost positive it's going to happen.
This is a team irritatingly optimistic.
The heads were coming out of the lily pads on the side of the water. There was like conversations in this uninhabited area, and then way off in the distance, the trees were morphing. And actually the funny thing was, I was racing with my friend Dennis, and I knew he was behind me before the sleep monster started. And then halfway through the paddle, I was like, is it Chris or Dennis behind me? And I started talking to him, trying to figure out, like, get him to answer questions that only that person would know. Still, I wasn't sure who it was for a majority of the paddle. I had to play it cool.
I took a killer picture of a black bunny rabbit once to show my wife. It wasn't a black bunny rabbit. I army crawled up to a log and hid behind it with my camera to take a picture of a stump. Got home, flipped through all the pictures, excited to show it to her, and tried to flip really quickly past that one. She made me go back. It is nothing but a stump. But it was a great picture. I wish somebody would have had a video of me doing it then.
It's a beautiful stump. From the Dorset Marble Quarry, teams ride to TA4 at the northern end of the Somerset Reservoir, a remote wilderness lake at the headwaters of the Deerfield River, for the first of 2 pack rafting stages on the course.
My name is Leo. I'm the rep for MRS, which is a manufacturer for pack rafting, and leading the marketing and the sales in the US region. I think it's different design philosophy for MRS comparing to other companies.
MRS has been a supporter of the Endless Mountains Adventure Race since its founding in 2022.
MRS pack raft, it's really designed by players themselves. They started, actually in their living room, in-house. But they think about how to make a fast pack raft. MRS produce the most intimate number pack raft in the world right now. We noticed that more and more people adopt our Barracuda pack raft for the racing. I think because people like how simple it is and how fast it is. We really try to build a race pack raft for the athletes. I'm also new to adventure race. I don't know much about that. So I did my own study, understanding how interesting the sport is. So I decided, okay, that's the thing you can combine the business and also some interest into the sports together. At the time I agreed that we start exploring things. And I think we've been collaborating for 5 years till now. It's been great.
Leo himself is a competitive athlete in gravel and mountain bike racing.
I just finished Angbang this year, 200. So I have my own desire and requirement and my standard for equipment, especially for race. So I'm happy that I'm in the position between the athletes in the race as well as the manufacturing MRS, letting each other know the desire, the requirement, and also bring the high quality product to the athletes here.
Spare parts, welcome.
Hey,
how's your day?
Our day has been long. Let's get a transition and sneak over out there. Some point.
All right. How are those MRS pack rafts treating you?
Fantastic. They got us around the lake efficiently.
You move pretty fast?
Very comfortable.
The Somerset Reservoir may just be the spiritual heart of this year's race. On a quiet day, it will be the racers and the loons, and nothing else. Today.
Oh, hey, who just arrived? It's the host of the Dark Zone. Let's do a little podcast episode right now.
So we arrived last night at the previous TA, and it was pitter-patter in the transition area, a little bit of rain, and they mentioned more was coming, and more came, and it's just orange buckets down on us.
The rain was coming down, so it blinded the light.
We're standing there at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's pouring down rain.
So listen, this is absurd.
On the next episode of the Endless Mountains podcast, strategic route decisions, the field stretches to the max, and stress levels rise as the finish line is in sight. It's go time.